What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tottenham. We've got a bit to get through today. Obviously, the news of yesterday, or the non-news. I mean, we're just all clamouring for Mauricio Pochettino to come back, and just as the days go by, it just seems more unlikely, and more unlikely. And I don't know where to go with this manager situation anymore.
Well, it's gone from what we were hearing a couple of weeks ago, saying Spurs in from Alistair Gold saying Tottenham interested in a certain manager, but it's gonna potentially be a significant outlay for him. And now I'm reading Levy wants a manager who's going to be on a free, so he can save money, but like so he doesn't have to pay compensation. Like
it's just conflicting reports every day.
No, does anyone know what the truth is? You know what I mean? Like at the moment, I'm just such in limbo. Some people saying Poch is definitely not happening.
That report you're talking about was from the Footy Insider, wasn't it? That said that we don't want to spend money on manager.
Probably, yeah, maybe.
So I mean, if you're comparing Alistair Gold to the Footy Insider,
maybe Levy's priorities have changed. I don't know. It's confusing what to believe. One person saying Madrid are favourites for Pochettino. One person saying Pochettino's camp has already said he's not leaving. Alistair Gold is insistent that Poch is very much interested in the job. It's hard to know what to believe right now. Even rumours today that Ancelotti might be favourite for the job now.
Serious? I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
El Chigrito saying Ancelotti is in talks with Madrid. So I don't know. I don't know what to believe, honestly. It's just all up in the air right now in terms of what's actually happening. And apparently Spurs broke a record today.
Yep, that we did indeed. We're record breakers. Once again, we're record breakers. Longest time a Premier League team haven't had as a manager. You'll never sing that.
43 days, apparently. Yeah. I don't know how true that is, but it sounds about right.
I thought Arsenal held the record when they sacked Emre to get Arteta in, but I could have been wrong because they had Lundberg in that period where he was there for quite a while.
Well, not was it over a month? You had him for over a month, Jake Lundberg? Don't think so. I don't think you had him for that long. Maybe a couple of weeks.
Maybe it's longer than that in my head, but I can't think of a team that haven't had a manager for as long
as we have.
But wasn't David Pleat interim for like quite a long time?
He was interim. He was interim for a while, but it's a bit different because we kind of decided you're our manager until the end of the season. It wasn't like it's not like we hired him when we were looking for another manager at the time.
But we did the same with Ryan Mason.
No, I disagree. I think we've been looking, even since appointing Mason, we've been looking.
So what? David Pleat was our manager, but only until the end of the season. In that time, they weren't looking for another manager.
Because we appointed him in September for the whole season. And we knew he was going to be there. He wasn't, and even though he was interim, we knew he was going to be there till the end of the season. It wasn't like we were going to get him out the door in mid-season. We announced him as manager till the end of the season. I think Mason was very much a short-term manager, which I think if we would have found a manager in that time, we would have appointed him.
All right, look, Fabrizio Romano was talking about Harry Kane last night, and he says Harry Kane wants to go, which is obviously no surprise, and he says he wants to play Champions League football, which is also no surprise, but he did say Manchester City are going to push for him in the coming weeks, and he also says that Tottenham in the position of Harry Kane, apparently the Pochettino situation, if Pochettino comes back, it will have no bearing on if Harry Kane stays or not. So it's what I was thinking during the Champions League final, seeing that Man City team.
Is that what Romano said?
Yeah.
He said Poch won't have any bearing.
Yeah.
And the Times also said that.
Sorry, you're right. Yeah. That was the Times.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Not Romano. But look, the Times are also pretty reliable. So
on their day.
On their day. But look, in terms of the Harry Kane thing, that's exactly what I was thinking when I was watching that Man City Champions League final. I was thinking that now they're going to really need to push for someone big to lead their strike force. And Harry Kane is going to be that man. Harry Kane is going to be that man. And there was all these rumours.
They want it to be him for sure.
There's a lot of rumours yesterday as well that they could be looking to offload a lot of players. Laporte apparently is not going to be interested in the role, but that's from the Daily Mail. But that's not surprising at all. But they're saying that they could offer us Nathan Ake and Gabriel Jesus, which is not really I mean, Nathan Ake, yeah, I like him as defender, but he's too injury prone. Way too injury prone for me.
That's the thing. I thought he was going to have a big break this season at Man City. I thought he was going to get a lot of game time, but he just hasn't. He's barely played, to be fair. Despite being pretty solid at Bournemouth, he has barely played this season for Man City. And when he has played, he hasn't exactly set the world alight. So, but then again, this time last season we were sniffing, we were turning up our noses at the chance of signing John Stones, and look at the season he's had.
True.
So, I think we can easily, maybe we're too early to write these players off.
Jesse Lingard as well. But still, I probably wouldn't sign Jesse Lingard.
But Ake, we could do worse than Nathan Ake. We could do a lot worse, especially a left-sided centre-back, which we don't really have at the moment. So I wouldn't say no to him. I mean, also Gabriel Jesus. I mean, if you think about the strikers available to us, or who we can get, I mean, Gabriel Jesus wouldn't be the worst of the options. He really wouldn't. He's a fine player. And if he's willing to come to us as part of a Kane deal, if we get money plus Jesus, it's really, we could do far worse than that, I think.
We can, but we could also do far better, in my opinion.
How?
Depends
what the deal is. Yeah. Depends what the deal is. If it's like 80 million plus Jesus, I guess you could take the 100 million, or you can take, if it's 100 million plus Jesus, then you can spend the extra 100 million. I mean, what would you spend the extra 50 million on?
Is Jesus going to get us like 20 plus goals a season?
As a main man, potentially.
You think so? Because I think that, yes, he doesn't get enough game time at Man City. Look, I don't know his goal record off the top of my head, but I'm thinking a striker that is in that team should be scoring a lot more goals than him, probably.
Well, it does say a lot that he doesn't start even when he'd rather start no striker than him, to be fair. But
I'm not fully convinced with Gabriel Jesus.
I think for us, he could be. I think him being the main man in our team, I think he could be very effective. I really do. I think he probably would have learned a lot, and I reckon he could, especially if we had Poch in charge, I reckon he could do extremely well.
Maybe, but I'm thinking like maybe we need someone with a bit more of a presence up there.
We need that as well. We need two strikers.
Yeah,
we need two. That's the truth.
Yeah. But also Fabrizio Romano went on to say that Tottenham still hold the same position, that Harry Kane will not be leaving this summer. So it doesn't sound like there's any sort of gentleman's agreement there.
Might be. He might be breaking it. Doesn't really care. So that doesn't surprise me at all. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, let's move on anyway, because this Harry Kane talk is depressing me a little bit. But Moussa Sissoko, there's some quotes from Moussa Sissoko out from his time in France, obviously with the French camp, and he's saying that I'm open to all propositions today because I've had an experience. I've experienced quite a difficult year this year. And that's obviously talking on a Tottenham exit. And it seems as though every single player that's on international duty, they're asking, "Oh, are you leaving Tottenham this summer? Are you leaving Tottenham this summer? Are you leaving?" Because there's about 3 or 4 cases we need to get through of this today. But it seems as though Moussa Sissoko is eyeing the exit door this summer, which is no surprise. And I mean, it's probably suit both parties, won't it?
Yeah, and I think he's been at us for a while. He even said himself he's had a by and large a good time and a good relationship with the fans and stuff. But I think it's time now to start looking for other opportunities for him. I think he's done his time. He's kind of gone as far as he can go at Tottenham. I don't think there's any more he can go, and I can't see him being a starter by any stretch of imagination next season. And he said in his interview that he's happiest when he's on the pitch. He's happiest when he's playing. That's where he feels like he's at home. And at Tottenham, it's been a very up and down season and stuff. And if I'm not getting the game time, I'd rather move on. And I think look, we need to upgrade him. He's not of the required quality anymore. I don't think he has that kind of motivation I feel like he might have had a couple of years ago when he was really at the top of his game. So, I don't think so. I think it's better he leaves.
Yeah, I completely
and hopefully
agree.
we get a good
I've been
deal.
saying it all up until till he got dropped. Probably what was it, around January time?
Mm-hmm.
And I think ever since he's come back in the team since then, he's been nothing short of shocking, to be honest. I mean, his effort looks to be completely diminished on the pitch. He can't put in the yards that he used to put in, and when he doesn't put in those yards and doesn't give that energy to us on the pitch, he literally provides absolutely nothing, because we all know what kind of qualities he has on the ball.
Yeah, which nothing. Is not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot. And exactly. So it's best for everyone if a team in France comes in for him and we get a decent. Even if it's like 8 million or something, just cut our losses at this point. I think.
And also, yeah, he's on quite big wages, isn't he?
It's one of our. He's like 80 grand a week, I think.
Yeah.
One of our top earners, and even then, but that's what he came in on. So he might even be on more than that now, because he's on a new contract. So, get him off the wage bill, I think.
And yeah, I'm just going past all the news that has broken in the last 24 hours, and that's what I was talking about before. And Harry Kane admires Pochettino, but his return to Tottenham would not change the striker's mind about leaving the club, which was from the Times Sport, as my brother said. Gareth Bale has also been quoted yesterday in The Guardian on his Wales duty, and he says on his future, I don't want to say anything that's going to cause more chaos, drama or distraction. I just want to focus on the Euros and what I am doing or not doing. When the Euros finishes for us, then I will sit down and decide what I want to do. And that's obviously following on the rumours from Eurosport yesterday that said that he is joining Tottenham for another year.
Yeah, he's keeping his cards very close to his chest for Gareth Bale.
But I get it, because obviously this Euros is very important for him and Wales, and he wants.
It could be his last.
It could be his last international tournament. He wants to fully concentrate on it, and Wales in the last couple of tournaments have done pretty well, so they want to replicate that.
Yeah, and I think he doesn't want to say too much. I don't think he actually knows yet what he's doing, despite him saying like, "I know what I'm doing" and everything. I don't think he. I think
he says he doesn't know what he's doing.
He doesn't.
He's going to make a decision after.
Yeah, before. Yeah. So I think it's clear. Just the plan right now is to go back to Madrid after the Euros and then see what's going to happen. And I think Madrid will still probably desperate to get rid of him.
Do you think even so, without Zidane there?
Yeah. I think it's not even Zidane now. It's like the hierarchy. He's pissed off, not just and the fans as well. Think about how toxic it is with the fans there as well. So I don't think he stays. I don't think he stays in Madrid. So I think whoever comes in as Spurs manager is likely to want him, and I think we still have quite a good chance of keeping him. So I think again it's going to be a waiting game. We're not going to find out anything until after the Euros. I don't think with Bale.
Dark Sanji,
especially as we don't have a manager as well.
Yeah. Dark Sanji 21 says, if Sissoko and Aurier leaves, that frees up foreign players, right? Please, we need B+ players. Also, shout out Coco as well, and that's 3 foreign players out. So
yeah, we have a foreign player.
That's quite right, because this has been our kind of a problem with us in the past couple of years of signing players, that we can't sign foreign players because our quota is just too high. So actually, this is a perfect summer for these players to leave, because we really need to get this squad sorted, don't we? Desperate now.
100%, and it allows us to have a few more options in terms of the transfer market and not just relying on buying homegrown players, which is good. And look, I think Aurier and Sissoko. They're also very good friends, and I think they obviously talk a lot, and they're little mafias and whatnot. That's what it is, isn't it? And I think if they're probably both thinking, look, let's both get out of here. There's no point staying here anymore. I don't think.
But Tanguy is also part of that.
He is, and he hasn't said anything. Maybe he'll also feel like he might want to leave. So, we'll see what kind of knock-on effect that has on him. But I think Aurier and Sissoko have been here for too long, and I just think they haven't. They feel too comfortable here. I feel they're not challenged enough, and they're relied upon too much for how good they are, and how much you can rely on them. Even at their best, you can't rely on them that much, and especially when their motivation's not at the highest. So it'll be. I think we can get. I reckon we can get a couple of clubs to get them out the door. I reckon people will come in for them.
I think. Yeah. Well, Aurier is obviously twerking for PSG big time.
I don't think PSG will come in for him. I don't think he'll. I think he'll go to someone else in France.
Yeah, maybe, but I can't see us getting over 10 million for either of them, and that's probably pushing it.
Yeah, but I think we've got to take that.
Yeah,
we have to take that.
Completely agree. And let's move back to the manager situation. Obviously, Antonio Conte, Pochettino, Erik ten Hag, all very heavily linked. And everyone likes to track these managers when we're linked with them. And Antonio Conte put a picture of himself up on social media last night, which definitely looks like he is nowhere near North London. That's for sure. Do you want to show it on the phone? It's on. You can even get it on the Spurs Express Twitter or his Instagram page or something. But let's show it, because you can see he's very far away from North London, unless he's very disguised himself in like one of those Zoom background things.
One sec, where is it? Yeah.
So there you go. That is Antonio Conte enjoying himself. Doesn't seem as though he's worried about where he's going to be managing next season or anything. Yeah, he's snorkeling.
Not bad, is it? Serie A champion. He's having the time of his life.
Exactly.
Taking a few days off to chill. That's what I would be doing.
Doesn't look like he's rushing to sort out his job for next season, does it?
Doesn't think he's... looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
I'm jealous as well.
Yeah. I wish I could be doing
probably in Italy or Portugal or something right now. Maybe he went to watch a Champions League final or something. Who knows?
Doesn't need the stress of Tottenham.
Really
doesn't need us. No,
really doesn't. And again on the manager situation, a publication called Golongari. I'm not sure how reliable they are, but they're like from Italy. They're part of Tutto Mercato Web. I'm not sure how reliable they are, but I don't think they are that reliable. They say Tottenham are exploring Paulo Fonseca as a more financially suitable option to Antonio Conte and others. And then the report goes on to say that he was offered by his intermediaries last week. I'm sure lots of managers get offers by their entourage, wouldn't get too worked up about it. But Paulo Fonseca just got sacked by Roma, right?
Yeah, he did.
So, I mean, I don't understand why he's even in the conversation.
And also, it would be a manager who's never managed in the Premier League before. It's such a risk. It's such a risk. So
he didn't do well with Roma last season. The best he's done with Roma is finish 5th.
Yeah, but he's cheap. And that's what we do. We do cheap.
So is Ryan Mason. Even cheaper, probably.
Definitely cheaper. He'll do it for free, Ryan Mason.
Exactly. I'll do it for free. You should have a look at my Football Manager CV over the last couple of years. Absolutely pristine. Champions Leagues for Tottenham, Premier Leagues.
Sounds like you're more qualified than Fonseca, to be fair. Mintu Lee, have you read that one out? Said on Bell's quote, Bell prefers not to speak. Last time he spoke, he was in trouble. And that's true. I think that's what he's trying to say, Bell. Because I think last time, I think he said something pretty innocuous and everyone made a big deal of it. So I think right now he's just... I think right now he's just basically saying, I don't want to say anything because it's going to cause chaos.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he's saying.
Another super chat here from Andrew, or with an X in it. He says, if we sell Kane... what would you think about buying Grealish with the money? He's about to hit his prime and would add creativity and technique we need. Yes, I would love Grealish, but apparently Man City are linked with him.
Yeah, apparently Man City want him. I think if we do sell Kane, I wouldn't be that against going big for Grealish at all. He's definitely one that we should be, and even if I mean
Grealish
pushing
will be aiming his
forward,
higher than us, I reckon.
Probably. But if he's available and willing to come to us, then I think Grealish would definitely... I'd definitely jump at the chance to sign him. And even if I meant pushing Son up front.
Like many people in the comments are saying, though, we missed the Grealish boat, didn't we?
Daniel
Levy
we did. We could have had him. We could have had him.
We could have had him for cheap as well.
And we screwed
absolute pennies.
Levy, that was one of Levy's worst ever negotiations of all time. He had him, and he kept trying to
15 million or something.
Yeah, and he kept basically trying to force Villa's hand and force him down because he knew they needed the money. So he kept trying to go lower and lower. And then, unfortunately, we waited too long, and then he got taken over. And all of a sudden, his price doubled overnight, and we didn't get him. So
I genuinely believe I think we've missed that boat for Grealish now, and I think if Man City are somewhat interested, he'll sniff his nose up at us. That's for sure. Even if they're interested and it doesn't go through, I don't think he'll join us. Dark Sun G21 says, what about Grealish and Konsa for the Kane money? Well, we just spoke about Grealish, but I'll take Konsa. I'll definitely take Konsa. Do you think Joachim Anderson and Konsa is enough for our centre-back problems?
I mean, I reckon that, look, they're two good defenders, but in terms of relying on them next season, I do think that's asking a lot of them. I do think they could build a partnership together, and I think long term they could be two very good centre backs for us. But I just think next year Like, I don't think we're going to see like them being unbelievable. They'll make a lot of mistakes, I think, and people get frustrated. But I think if we give them time, they can develop a very good partnership and could be very good for us in the future. But I don't think if you want someone ready now to come in and revolutionise our defence, I don't think those two will be the ones. But I do think over a time they might be able to. But I think not straight away.
Who's a realistic one that can come in now and just hit the ground running for what we need, kind of thing?
It's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to say who's available. Like, you need someone like a Skriniar,
Skriniar, Botman.
who's been playing at the top of his game for a while.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Anderson and Konsa, they've had 2 very good seasons, but they're very varying expectations of what
Is it
it's different.
is it realistic to think about Laporte?
No.
You don't think so? Where do you think he ends up if he leaves City this summer?
I don't know where, but he's going to have a host of clubs who will be more than willing to take him. A host of clubs, and Spurs are going to be very, very far down the list. The only hope we have, sorry, the only hope we have of getting in Laporte is if he's forced to move to Tottenham and move in the Harry Kane deal.
But there's no force because he could always reject us.
No, but there's no force, but the club can say, look, we're sending you to Spurs, and they can try and like we've done it before to players, like just kind of forced it a bit. That's the only way we can do it. I know obviously he can reject it, but he could be convinced by City, look, it'll be good for you if you move to Tottenham and wherever. Like they can convince him, but other than that, there's no reason for Laporte to come to us. He could easily get a Champions League club in his sleep. Any Champions League club will go for him. So. There's no reason Spurs is his only option.
He might end up at PSG, you know.
Easily.
PSG makes sense for him to go to. Imagine Laporte and Marquinhos at the back.
He can go to anyone, Laporte. He can go to anyone.
I think PSG actually makes a lot of sense. He's French, isn't he? So it suits him there. He'll probably go back home and partner up with Marquinhos at the back. What a partnership that would be. Laporte and Marquinhos.
He could have a host of clubs in for him. A host of clubs, so it's very far fetched to expect to convince Laporte to come to Tottenham. It really is.
Yeah, and moving on, this is on the same conversation really. This is the one that I mentioned earlier on in the stream from the Daily Mail. Tottenham are interested in both Gabriel Jesus, Nathan Ake, and Man City could use at least one of them in part of the deal for Harry Kane. I mean. No, I would take. Look, at the end of the day, I would take either of them. I would, but you can't replace Harry Kane with Gabriel Jesus because you need to bring in one more, like you said.
Yeah, we need 2, but I think as Jesus is one of those strikers, really, we could do a lot worse. We really could do a lot worse. I think he's a good striker.
This one is from Calcio Mercato, and they say Antonio Conte demands were said to be too excessive for Real Madrid, whilst Pochettino's situation with PSG is deemed to be too complicated for Real Madrid. So they're in a very similar situation to us.
Yeah, I read today that Perez wants Poch, but he's not. He's willing to not rock the boat with PSG and look at other targets. He wants to keep a good
relationship with PSG, apparently.
Apparently, that's what I read. So, I don't know if we're interested in that, but I think we'd rather Poch. But I think that's
Daniel Levy doesn't care about relationships.
He cares about relationships with Madrid.
Yeah, with Madrid.
If we can keep getting the short end, that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see where this manager merry-go-round's going to stop, because with so many moving pieces right now. But I feel like Tottenham are just going to end it badly. Like, we're going to get the short stick.
Yeah, but that account on Twitter, the Scout or whatever you call them, they said that the manager situation is going to be done by the 2nd of June, and Pochettino's already signed, sealed, and delivered.
Well, I read today that he said that it's off.
Oh, did he say that it's off today?
Yeah. I don't know why people even bother with these people, but apparently I read. I don't know. I saw a screenshot of him saying the Poch deal was off. Can't even rely on him anymore. What was his name? The secret Prem man or something? I don't know.
Yeah, the secret Prem man. The Scout or something.
There's some interesting quotes from Bale on Joe Rogan coming out just now.
Oh, yeah.
He says on Joe Rogan, he said he has come on leaps and bounds this season, and made such progress in his football. He's got better and better, and looks a really strong defender. He will be one of the top defenders in the Premier League in years to come.
Let's hope
Strong
he's
words.
right. Let's hope
Strong
he's right.
words by Bale.
The thing is with Joe Rodon, you know, everyone talks about him being so young and inexperienced. And yes, he's inexperienced, but he's not so young, is he? He's the same age as Davinson Sanchez, more or less.
He's about a year younger, isn't he? Yeah.
And the way we compare them as Davinson Sanchez as like some... Only because obviously Sanchez has been here for 3 or 4 years. We look at him like that. But we look at Sanchez as like more established. And that he should be a lot better than Joe Rodon, and Joe Rodon is like a young defender coming through.
Yeah, it was different because what age was Sanchez playing for Ajax in the Europa League final? He was what,
like 19 or something,
like that. And so their development has gone on different paths. So of course we expect more from Sanchez because we signed him at 21 years old for 42 million, or 20 years old, whatever, for 42 million. And so his development, he's been in the first team in the Premier League football for 4 years. Joe Rodon is a bit more of a late developer. He was still playing Championship for up until a year ago. So it's obviously they're going at different paces. So I think it's right to expect different things at this stage of their career right now from both of them, even though they're age-wise they're relatively similar. Experience-wise, they're not.
And from what you've seen from Joe Rodon so far, do you back up those Gareth Bale comments? Do you think?
Look. I'm not saying he's bad or anything. I'm not saying that I don't like what I see of Rodon. I do, but I think look, I'm not a professional footballer, but from what I can see, it's way too early to say he's going to be one of the top defenders in the Premier League. But I think it's not too early to say he's definitely going to be a good Premier League defender for years to come. I can definitely see that. If he's going to be one of the top Premier League defenders to come, I don't know about that. We'll see.
I like his attitude, that's for sure. And I think that I've seen it more for Wales than I've seen it for Tottenham, but he shows top leadership qualities. He does. And I think he does have that about him. I think he's got a good presence in there, good aerial presence. I mean, he's all right on the ball. What weaknesses can you see from Joe Rodon?
There aren't, like, in terms of he's not slow. He's got a good head on him. He's actually composed on the ball. Like all these things, they all add up. They all add up well for him. You just got to work. Like there's more to that to being a top class defender. You have to keep your concentration. You can't be caught ball watching. All these different things. Like there's more to being a top defender than just having all the attributes. You have to add mentality as well. So, like, remains to be seen whether he does. We've only seen him for a year. I can't say after a year he has that mentality because you have to keep it doing year on year. So, in terms of in his game as a player, there aren't too many glaring weaknesses for him. He's tall as well. He's dominant in the air. He's a big lad. He's got a bit of pace about him as well. So he's got all the attributes. But it's whether he can marry them all together and have the mentality to become an elite defender, we just don't know yet.
And, you know, this reminds me of how we were speaking about Davinson Sanchez the first 2 years of him being at Spurs. Yes, I mean, we questioned him being on the ball and his concentration, but he had pretty much all the attributes to be a top-class defender in the Premier League.
He does. Except for there's a few glaring things in terms of his composure. It just hasn't worked on his composure.
That's become more apparent with more time at Spurs. But at the beginning, we were saying the same things that we're saying about Joe Rodon for Davinson Sanchez.
I mean, you could. I guess so. I guess so. I mean, always time will tell with all these defenders. You can have a good spells and early spells to defend. I've so many defenders have had good starts and then just fade away, and that's how it works. I guess you could say we said the same about Sanchez as we said about Rodon, but I've always said with Sanchez that I think there are more glaring weaknesses in Sanchez's game, even then than there were in Rodon's. I can see now. But it's about, Rodon could easily regress in any given facet, so I don't know at the moment. And it's not like we've seen him for that much game time anyway, even this season. I know he's played well when he has played, but how much has he played? Not so much. So it's
and even so, he has made mistakes.
But as a young defender, you expect that, don't you? So I think the jury's still out on Rodon, but he's obviously going to be a big part of the defence next season.
Super chat here from Finlay Donald saying, why Poch? Getting Poch would accept failure, in my opinion. This is what really pisses me off, is these Spurs fans coming out saying, oh, why do you want Poch? Poch failed at Spurs. Like, do you understand that Pochettino was the best manager in our Premier League history? First of all, yes, he didn't win anything, but he took us to heights that we couldn't even dream of before Pochettino, I mean, and who wouldn't want that back at Tottenham? He was on the cusp of winning stuff. Yes, we didn't actually go over the line, for one reason or another, and I genuinely believe that was mainly because of Daniel Levy not giving him what he wanted. I think that's why we didn't go over the line. But you can't knock Poch as a manager and the job he did at Spurs. You just can't. There's nothing to knock about it apart from just not getting over that line. And he came closer to getting to the big things than anyone else in probably the history of Tottenham.
Yeah, and
apart from the great Bill Nick.
And the people, it's just funny to me to see people saying Poch is a loser and the reason why these Spurs fans are so entitled is because of Pochettino.
Yeah.
He's the reason they are, because Pochettino was the one who made
he got us dining at that table.
Yeah, consistently getting top 4 right. He was the only manager who's able to achieve that with Spurs. No one other manager's ever been able to achieve that, and because he was able to do that on a regular basis, people thought that's what we're meant to be, and that's that's now par. Top 4 is now par for Spurs because Pochettino normalised overachieving. I've said that so many times. That's what he did for us. And people think it's normal for us to be top 4 all the time. It's not normal. It's never been normal. And it only got made normal because of how good Pochettino was. And we're seeing now how difficult top 4 actually is now he's gone.
Before Pochettino came, in the history of the Premier League, we'd finished top 4 twice, right?
And even one of them we didn't even get Champions League.
Twice, both under Redknapp, yeah? Did we do it under AVB?
No.
We didn't do it under. So twice under Redknapp.
And
once we got
time,
Champions League. Second time was when Chelsea won the Champions League.
Correct.
And he completely normalised it. He got it 4 or 5 years in a row, finished above Arsenal 4 or 5 years in a row. Before Pochettino came, we had finished above Arsenal once in the Premier League era. Once.
No. Oh, in the yeah.
Once.
In the 90s.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And that was a complete one-off season. And Pochettino completely normalised this. He got us fighting for titles. Yes, we never got over the line. He got us in the Champions League final. Yes, we didn't go over the line. He got us in FA Cup semi-finals. Yes, we didn't go over the line. He got us in cup finals of the League Cup as well. Yes, we didn't get over the line. But he was getting us there. He was getting us to those finish lines where we just need that extra kick to finish off these kind of achievements. And I find it sickening, actually, people just kind of dismissing Pochettino like he was a complete failure at Tottenham. It makes me sick.
It completely glosses over what he had to deal with and all the circumstances. And not only was he getting us results, but the way he was getting us results as well, the football we were playing as well, it was actually exciting to go see Tottenham. Like it was enjoyable to watch all the football, to go watch a game. I was excited to go watch the games, and it's a far cry from what we're seeing now. And it's not as easy as people think to get a team playing like that and getting us challenging at the higher end of the table. And people gloss over that like it's just part of the course and it's normal, and it wasn't normal, especially for us at the time. So I think people dismissing Pochettino is really, really poor, really poor in my opinion.
It is really poor, and I just don't understand it. Someone said breaking news in the comments that Carlo Ancelotti is going to be the new Real Madrid
I'm reading that. Master is saying have got a breaking news that Ancelotti is set for Real Madrid.
Wow.
There's a few outlets saying that now. Marca. Who else is there?
Roberto Martinez back to Everton.
There's a few. Yeah, there's a few. Let me see. There's a few. I think it's mostly coming from Marca. They're breaking news that he's set to be announced.
Wow.
Apparently, Carlo Ancelotti will be announced. Breaking news.
Carlo just 1 season at Everton, or is it 2?
1.5, isn't it?
1.5, yeah.
It's coming from this Jose Felix Diaz, who's a journalist for Master. He is saying Ancelotti is set to go back to Real Madrid.
That's mad.
Which is a massive blow for an Everton fan, you'd have to think.
Yeah, it really is. I thought he's done a really good job at Everton.
Yeah,
obviously,
but to be fair,
off this season.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think he's as much as he. I don't think he hates being Everton manager or anything. But at his age, he's 65 or something.
Yeah.
He's not got a long left in management. You got to think, and when he looks at the Everton job, right, especially this summer, where let's be honest, if any team comes in for a massive offer for Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison, like it's likely they're going to leave. And he's probably looking at the last season, right, where everyone said Everton did great and they overachieved and whatever.
I think they did up until a certain point, but
Well,
their season tailed off. Didn't
exactly. But people look. No one's criticising Everton for how they finished last season. Where did they finish?
I'm criticising them.
Huh? Barely any. Like I'm saying, throughout the season, no one was criticising them. People were saying actually Everton were doing well and Ancelotti was doing a good job, right, for the majority of the season.
Was first half of the season.
I'm saying people.
Second half was awful.
Yeah, but where did they finish? 10th, right?
Yeah.
And but I'm saying no one was like saying Ancelotti's going to lose his job or anything. Like Everton were happy at Ancelotti. Like I think when the narrative throughout the season was Everton were having a good season and they finished 10th, and he looks at the table and thinks, there's no way I'm even breaking the top 6, let alone top 4, anything at this club at the moment. So if he did get the chance to go back to Real Madrid and have one more shot at the big time in it with the years left, he would probably take it, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think probably Everton this season probably had one of their worst seasons at Goodison, probably in the whole Premier League era. When you look at it. Like, they hardly won a game at Goodison this year.
Yeah, they did. It was a funny season, though, let's be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was a funny season, and a lot of teams, you could say, didn't show, like, their true value as a team. You know what I mean? I genuinely believe that. And I think the majority of teams in the Premier League didn't show their value. So maybe the kind of quality of the Premier League was all dropped down. So maybe it was kind of their true value. You know what I mean? If everyone's values drop down, so everyone's showing the same amount, just a bit of a drop in it kind of thing. So I don't know. I think in terms of the job Carlo done this year, I wasn't impressed. I was impressed at the beginning, obviously, when they were top of the league, but they couldn't keep it up.
Yeah, but that's my point. That's my point. I personally don't think Everton did particularly like anything amazing. I don't think they were dreadful, but I don't think they did anything well. But from all I was seeing from Everton throughout the season, like when people talking about like pundits and stuff, it's like just how well Everton are doing most of the time anyway, and that they're actually having a good season. And Ancelotti constantly Ancelotti was in the press conference saying, you know, we're still challenging for Europe. We're going to get Europe this season. That's what we're aiming for. We're going to aim. We're in the battle for top 4 and everything. And I reckon even Eve sees it as, even though they fell away and got nowhere near it, like he wasn't even under pressure at all for like getting sacked or anything. So he's probably looking at it thinking, well, this is this is me doing a good job in 10th. Like, do I want to be doing this in my last shot in my career? He probably thinks that if he has a shot at Madrid, he should take it, and I don't blame him for that. It makes complete sense actually when you think about it. So, and also he's won the Champions League in Madrid, didn't he? And they probably won a manager.
He won La Decima, didn't he?
Yeah, so maybe and that was his 3rd Champions League win. So maybe they're thinking maybe he could bring one more Champions League back to Madrid before he retires. So as much as it's going to be poor for Everton and a shock to lose him, it kind of does make sense.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who goes to Everton.
Yeah,
it really would. The Player of the Season nominations are out. I thought they were out ages ago, but anyway.
No, that was the Football Writers.
It's De Bruyne, Ruben Dias, Bruno Fernandes, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, Mason Mount, Mohamed Salah, and Thomas Souček. Surprised Phil Foden's not there.
For Player of the Year, I think he just didn't have the game time because he only really started playing week in, week out. Like,
I'm surprised Gundogan's not there either.
Yeah, I would take out Souček probably and put Gundogan there because I think as much as Souček's had a good season, I don't think he's been on Gundogan's level.
I might put Gundogan in there instead of De Bruyne because I don't think De Bruyne has had like an astonishing season like he usually does. I think he's been good. Obviously, it's De Bruyne. He's the best player in the Premier League, hands down. But I don't think he's shown that consistently this season. He's had a lot of injuries, hasn't he, as well?
He's had a few, but I think he's probably one of the top assisters, and he's still got a few decent goal return as well. And Grealish, though, also out for 3 months.
That's true.
In the second half of the season. Sonny, I think, didn't have the best second half, so I guess that would probably cost him a shout at Player of the Year.
His numbers say it all, Sonny.
Yeah, his numbers were brilliant, so... Yeah, it looks like...
it's got to be between Kane, Fernandes and Diaz, surely. Those are the 3 kind of...
Yeah, I think those are 3 front runners for sure, must be.
And Diaz, I'm guessing Diaz is probably going to win it.
Oh, he won the Writers. I reckon Kane's actually got a good shot.
You reckon?
I think, because everyone's been talking him up.
Is this the one nominated by the players? Do the players vote for this one?
I don't know. It looks like it's... Might be fans. I'm not even sure, to be honest. Because the players one is the PFA players.
Fans.
Yeah, this is the
No, it's
fans.
fans.
Yeah, this is not the player.
So
PFA.
if it's fans, then it'll probably will be Bruno
Yeah, it won't
Fernandes.
be Kane. Yeah, it won't be Kane then.
Bruno Fernandes will win, or Salah maybe.
Yeah, Marca really, they're convinced. They're saying his Ancelotti's return at Real Madrid will be made official shortly. Ancelotti will be the one chosen for Madrid next season. So they are convinced that Ancelotti's happening.
Let's see if there's any movement in the next. There we go. Don Carlo is heavy favourite now to take the Real Madrid job. You can get him at 1.25. So, yeah, it's pretty much confirmed. Well, it's not confirmed, but it's very likely that Carlo Ancelotti is going to Real Madrid, which Everton fans will not be happy about that.
Do you reckon they were speaking about maybe Poch, and they've decided that Ancelotti's more gettable and he could be a good short-term appointment, maybe looking at Poch in the future.
How much Carlo has left on his contract? I wonder what deal he signed at the beginning.
Ancelotti, let's see.
Because it'll be interesting to see how much that would actually cost to take him out of his contract, because I'm guessing he signed quite a big contract there.
Let's see. Does it say how long his contract is? Doesn't say
Should
here.
say on Transfer Market. Yeah, but that is the big news so far of the day. I really hope just something can give with this Spurs manager situation, man.
Doesn't say on Transfer Market for managers.
I know.
Can't see. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't say. Oh, contracted till 2024, so he's got another 3 years left. He did sign a big contract.
Yeah, so there you go. So they must be costing them quite a bit.
And he's probably one of the top paid managers in the Premier League. Not as much as Mourinho was, but I'm guessing between 10 and 15 million a year.
Yeah.
So it'll be a big payout. Who do you reckon Everton go for? Someone like Eddie Howe, maybe, who's available?
That's a good shout, actually, Eddie Howe. I think actually that's probably spot on, because obviously everyone thought he was going to take the Celtic job, didn't he? Then something didn't happen in the talks. I think it all went sour after the talks. So he's definitely looking for a job, Eddie Howe. He wants to get back into management. So I think Everton actually could be a good fit for him. I really believe that.
Did you read out the super chat from IS Haas?
Not sure.
It says, am I right to say Levy still holding a very tight purse?
I didn't read that.
It will not be easy for any manager to have a good working relationship looking at the current financial situation due to COVID. I mean, even without COVID, it'll be hard, let alone with COVID. So that's definitely true. Apparently, England squad, they tweeted out 10 minutes ago the England squad is going to be announced at 5 p.m.
Oh, 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what they just tweeted out.
Okay, so we thought it was going to be at 1 p.m, but it's at 5 p.m. We've actually got a couple of streams to bring you today. We're going to be doing our end of season awards. Very much looking forward to that. We've got, I think, around 11 or 12 awards to give out. So that should be a bit of fun today. And obviously we'll be reacting to the England squad as well, as and when that gets released. So I'm looking forward to the awards tonight. I really am.
So obviously, it's good for us that Ancelotti's going to Madrid, because it just means they're not getting Conte or Poch. But, I mean,
this Poch thing doesn't seem like it's happening.
Yeah, it's difficult to see it. It really is difficult to see it happening. It is difficult. I mean, I thought it would have happened already if it was going to happen. So the fact that I don't know whether he's still making his mind up, or we're just, I don't know. I feel like if we put too much energy into getting Poch back,
I think we've really put too much energy
and we don't get him,
back.
then it's like, I think it can alienate a lot of our options.
We've had rumours already that it's already alienated Conte and Ten Hag, and there are our next two options.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's difficult to know. It's difficult to know what the right course of action is, because obviously we were desperate for him back, but if it's not going to happen, it's just time to move on.
Yeah.
Because we can't spend too much energy here. Here it is, Fabrizio Romano saying Real Madrid are in talks with Carlo Ancelotti to appoint him a new manager. Let me just get that up as a tweet. Where is it?
And they didn't have any direct contact with Antonio Conte, which was interesting.
Here it is. Real Madrid are in talks with Ancelotti in order to appoint him as new manager confirmed. No agreement signed yet as he's under contract with Everton, but Madrid are pushing for Ancelotti back as per, I think that's the master people. No direct contact with Antonio Conte. So there you go. Ancelotti set to become Madrid manager once again after, was it 6 years? Interesting. Big blow for Everton, that one. Big blow. And I wonder what they're feeling now.
Yeah, we're just going to have to see what this means for Tottenham. I mean, every day I'm waking up and thinking, this is going to be the day where we're going to announce a manager. This is going to be the day where we're going to announce a manager, and that day never comes.
Maybe we're set to blow that record out of the water with their manager. We're going to probably go till after the Euros.
And you've got to think about it. Like, the manager needs to rebuild this squad. And every day goes by, it's one day less that he can do that. You know, when the Euros are on, it's going to be hard to sign players during the Euros because I'm guessing a lot of the players that we want to sign up will be playing in the Euros. So, I mean, it's going to be really difficult. It's really difficult. Every day that goes past, we're putting ourselves in a more difficult situation, in my opinion.
And that's the reality. But, I mean, yeah, I know. But what it's like, I feel so powerless. Like, there's nothing, which is just playing a waiting game. And I think Spurs at the moment, they don't really know. They don't really have a plan, and that's what it seems like. And that's why, I mean, going back for Pochettino stinks of a club with no plan, to be honest. And that's how I see it at the moment.
Dark Sun G saying, "I'll wait until Thursday before I give up on Poch." I mean,
why Thursday?
I don't know. It's just the date from thin air, you know what I mean? But it's just
I'll wait till Friday.
Trying to cling on to hope for as long as possible, and it's just getting harder and harder right now. It really is. But look, I think that's probably all the news we've got through today. So
let's read some tweets.
Yeah.
While we're here. Okay, so Josh Brown UK says, who do you think is most likely replacement for Sissoko? Someone like Milenkovic-Savic from Lazio would be a good upgrade. Big up from Hong Kong. It's a bit of a pipe dream to suggest that we can get Milenkovic-Savic. I do think he would leave Lazio for us, but do I think we could get a free run at Milenkovic-Savic? And also he's going to cost at least 60 million, so it's just very unlikely. I don't see us going for him, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I think we'll definitely go for a cheaper option like a Sabitzer or something like that than Milenkovic-Savic. Drakra Krishna, his Spurs scouts, Holtby over Salah, Chadley over Mane, Soldado over Aubameyang, 25 million too much for Grealish, 40 million too much for Diaz, and Lo Celso over Bruno. It was Sissoko over Mane. That's true. That is very true. When we ever in for Salah? Don't remember being in for Salah.
I'm sure we were at some point.
And there's a bunch of people tagging us in tweets about Carlo Ancelotti sitting. Also, Ancelotti going back to Madrid. What do you think that means for Bale? Because they got on well, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, that could be I don't know, maybe that's the chaos he's talking about. Ancelotti back, him back. Because he was in the starting lineup when the La Decima Champions League final, wasn't he?
Yeah, they got on well, Ancelotti and Bale. They had a good relationship. So I wonder if...
maybe.
Wonder what that means. Interesting. Yeah.
What about this ITK on Spurs Community?
What does he say?
I'm just going through it now. That doesn't say anything really.
No, something vague.
But Spurs Express just tweeted saying, so according to Romano, Real Madrid are in talks with Ancelotti to appoint him as their new manager. He also confirmed that there was no contact with Antonio Conte. So Tottenham have a free shot at Pochettino or Conte unless Everton try for Conte. You reckon Everton could go for Conte?
Nah. No chance. No chance Conte's going to Everton. Can't see him. I can't see him being attracted by that job, especially it's even less attractive than the Spurs job, I think. So I can't see him. I can't see it going for that job. I think as well, Ancelotti might go for Richarlison.
You reckon
if he goes at Real Madrid, I think he might do.
Oh, just as I said that, Spurs Express just deleted that tweet.
They deleted it.
Not sure why, but it's been deleted.
Thoughts on Joachim Anderson? I think he's a very good centre back, and I would love him at the club, says Alex Hotspur. Yeah, we've said we're big fans of Joachim Anderson, so I think he would be a good shot. Josefar says, I don't know why, but since I heard Graham Potter was shortlisted for the Tottenham manager job, I was really hyped. I know he's not amongst the list now, but I would love him to rebuild Spurs. What do you guys think? I said Potter's my choice. Obviously not ahead of Pochettino, but Potter is my choice of manager, because I do think he could get us playing good football. So I kind of agree. I think Potter could be a good appointment for us, but it's kind of Potter was my choice when he was the best of a bad bunch. When we had these, if we have these other potentials, I think we're better off going for them than for Graham Potter, in my opinion. Despite how much of a good job I think Potter has actually done at Brighton.
Yeah, look, I think Potter, it will still be underwhelming appointment in my opinion. I think it comes with his risks, obviously. So, look, I don't know. I'd prefer a few managers before Potter, but I wouldn't be totally unhappy if it was Potter.
Someone tweeted out on with a screenshot of our tier list yesterday, said, am I blind or do I see Van Halen shocking? Also, Benitez in the same tier with Potter. Not even going to talk about how Conte is lower than effing Rodgers and Poch, for fuck's sake. Explain it at We Are Tottenham TV.
You want an explanation? We can explain it right now.
We explained it in the video, didn't we?
We did explain it, but some people don't look at videos; they just look at screenshots. So the explanation is that Mourinho didn't get on at Tottenham. And I think it's very, very likely if Conte was to come to Tottenham that he wouldn't get on with the hierarchy at Tottenham as well. We all know what kind of a man and a manager Conte is, albeit a very, very, very good one. I'm not denying that at all. And I'm not denying that he's a better manager than Brendan Rodgers. I'm not saying that at all. I just feel that Antonio Conte is a recipe for disaster at Tottenham because of the way he is.
You got to think of what the club needs and who's the right fit for the club. And we went away from that with Mourinho, thinking that, look, we're going to go away from about the way Tottenham play and all that kind of stuff to try and win some trophies, and it wasn't the right fit. We could all see, to be honest, at the time, we all knew at the time that Mourinho and Tottenham didn't seem the right fit. We just thought we could make it work in the short term, try and get some trophies. But at the end of the day, it wasn't the right fit. It just wasn't. The way Mourinho likes to manage, the way he deals with the board and players and stuff, it just wasn't the right fit for Tottenham. And we could all tell you, it's so obvious that Conte, right now anyway, just isn't the right fit for Tottenham right now. And it's not the manager we need to make us get back to progress us. He's a manager you want in when a team has a lot of money to spend, when we have players right now who will be able to compete for higher up in the table and win things. And I think right now, Conte just wouldn't be the best fit for Tottenham. And either someone like Rodgers or Potter, or not so much, but Rodgers or Pochettino are much more, have much more of ability to be able to fit what Tottenham need right now. They know the challenge. They're used to challenges like that. It's different with Conte, and that's why it's kind of that manager tier list is tailored to who we think is the best fit for Tottenham right now.
Exactly. And we're not. The manager tier list wasn't like who's the best manager.
Yeah, because obviously Conte is better than Poch and Rodgers as a manager. Of course he is, but he's right now as a fit for Tottenham Hotspur, I don't think he'd be the best fit.
Yeah, exactly. Completely agree with that. Anything else?
Simon Stevens says, secret Prem guy. Pochettino signed, sealed and delivered. Official confirmation is imminent. Also secret Prem guy. Never mind, it's Chris Cowlin. Just a picture of Cowlin. Yeah. That's funny. So many people playing on the fact that Cowlin looks like Pochettino.
Yeah.
Let's talk Spurs. Says, saw you guys talking about Ake and Jesus plus 80/100 million for KANE. Reminded me of this tweet and my thoughts at the time. Would you take Ake and Jesus along with 80 million? Personally, I still wouldn't.
Look, how much money was involved?
80 million plus Ake and Jesus.
80 million plus Ake and Jesus. You'd have to take that, surely.
I mean, in terms of, I'd rather say no. But if we do have to sell him, then yeah, you probably have to take that. That deal's not bad, is it?
How much are they worth individually, Ake and Gabriel?
Well, they signed Ake for what, 40 million, and Jesus is probably worth, I would say, about 40 million. I would say Ake's probably gone down about 10 million, so even 15. I would say around 65 they're worth.
Yeah, so it makes about sense. Makes sense.
Mm.
Would you rather that, or would you rather just 150 million straight up?
I'd probably rather that, to be fair.
Yeah.
John Sheridan says Conte would be a horrible manager. Needs to understand that we are not in a position to attract the players he would demand. Our job description is literally Plotch. Bring him home.
That is literally the job description, Podge.
Yeah, Potch, I'm describing you. Josefa says, didn't the Alistair Gold tweet that the club is looking to recruit a new manager in the next 10 to 14 days? How long is it left? I'm fed up waiting. I don't know how long is left, to be fair.
It's probably a couple of days, maybe 5 days or so. I'm not sure, but definitely not long. That's for sure.
E77 Production says, not trying to wish bad news, but would an injury keep Kane at Spurs?
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, Man City will probably just bypass the medical.
What an injury in the Euros. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Breaks. Yeah. Looks like it's so. That's the big breaking news. Well, what on air with Ancelotti? It's pretty significant.
So we'll have to wait and see. Let's hope that we get any news around the Spurs manager situation today.
Well, that could. If Pochettino knows Madrid's no longer on the table, I don't know how that'll affect him. To be fair, but at least he won't be going there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But then again, Ancelotti doesn't scream long-term appointments. So maybe they're feeling like appoint Ancelotti for a year or two, and then go for Pochettino after.
Maybe
They could be looking at it like
a lot
that.
can happen in 2 years with specific managers and stuff. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. But we need some Tottenham manager news desperately. I just want to know who our manager's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Just come on.
But at least Madrid are out of the picture in terms of anyone we're looking at, so that's good.
Yeah.
Um,
Now we have to fight Everton off.
yeah, but I
I'm
think
more confident of that, though.
Yeah, definitely. Mark McConnell says, guys, does it really matter who is appointed, as nothing will change under Levy? He thought the least expensive option was sacking Pochettino and letting Jose coach the existing squad. Now Jose is out. Jose compensation and possible compensation in replacing Jose. You're right, he's cost himself probably more money than he should have with how he's dealt with the whole situation with Pochettino at the time.
Of course he has.
Absolutely.
Of course he has. But look, this is the owner that we have. The owner that we have. He spends more money to save a bit of money.
Vishnu Uni says, what if Carlo goes to Madrid and Everton snap up Ten Hag, Conte and Poch don't end up at N17? Do we end up with Potter then?
Probably. I can actually see that. I can see Everton going for Ten Hag now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's also a viable appointment.
And Potter, they can go for Potter as well.
Yeah. So we'll just have to see. I mean, that's also true. Like, if we spend so much time going on Poch now, if we still are persisting with it, they can go snap up our second, or maybe not Conte, but the next few choices after that in terms of Potter, who is it, Ten Hag, these kind of managers. So it's interesting. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But yeah, we're still in for a very bumpy ride, in my opinion. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But I think that is all we have for you for the Good Morning Tottenham. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like I said before, we're back a bit later on for our awards ceremony, end of season awards. And also, we're going to be reacting to the England squad Gareth Southgate is announcing at 5 o'clock. So, yeah, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.